السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
عليكم السلام. الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة. حي على الصلاة. حي على الفلاح. حي على الفلاح. الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له. وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدًا عبده ورسوله. أما بعد، فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله تعالى وأحسن الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. قال الله تعالى: يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. ثم أما بعد. All thanks and praise is due to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for we seek His help and His forgiveness, and we seek refuge in Allah from the evil within ourselves and the consequences of our evil deeds. Whoever Allah guides can never be led astray, and whoever Allah leads astray can never find guidance. And I bear witness that Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is His last and final messenger. Look around you, look at yourselves. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed us with more than we can imagine. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless us with even more, and bless us with that which is good for us. But we are surrounded by the blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Be it our wealth, be it our health, all of these things are ni'mas from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And of course, this is a very common saying, a lot of these things we will overlook. The things that are closest to us, the smallest of things, are things that we will overlook. We overlook the fact that we are able to walk here on our own two limbs, on our own 2 feet. This is a blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's a blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that we are able to pray standing up. And if we're not able to pray standing up, we can sit down, but we are at least able to move our limbs. There's people that are that are bedridden, that cannot get up, that ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for one last sujood, but yet we completely ignore the fact that we're able to do such things. But I want to move more something towards that is materialistic. Now, of course, material stays in this world, but it's important that while we are in this dunya, it's important that we appreciate everything that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us. And of course, the wealth that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us is a blessing. The fact that we are able to clothe ourselves in proper garments, the fact that we are able to drive here in cars worth more than some people's, forget about yearly savings, their lifetime worth of savings. The fact that we are able to get here from a house, go back to a home, go back to have proper warm dinner on our table. Wallahi, this is a blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that we overlook every single day. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has told us that if you are in a more fortunate circumstance, If you're in a scenario or you're in a situation where you have more than others, what do? You give for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You give for the cause of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, of course, we know that there's stuff going on, all across the globe. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy for them. We'll talk about that in the second half. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us, give to those that are in need, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give in your cause. There's so many hadith that talk about the importance of giving charity. Now, this isn't some sort of plea, so we're going to build another masjid. No, this is solely to understand the fact that there is an obligation upon you to give to those that are less fortunate. Now, of course, you have the element of zakat, which this is no argument about this. You have to give it whether you like it or not. This is a pillar of Islam. And if I give this example that a pillar holds a structure up properly. So in order for you to keep your iman strong, you have to abide by this pillar in Islam. But I am talking more in regards to charity, to voluntary charity. The charity that you can choose, if you give, amazing, and if you don't, you will not be punished for it, but it is better if you give it. Look around you. Look at what you have. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, wallahi, Islam is such an easy religion. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us, Rasulullah tells us that the charity will be the believer's shade on the day of resurrection. We have this hadith that talks about the 7 that will be given shade on Yawm al-Qiyamah, a day where there's no shade, but the shade that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us. One of those individuals will be that gives with his right hand to the point where his left hand doesn't even know what he gave. This element, or this hadith rather, and this individual, there's an emphasis on sincerity. But there's another hadith where Rasulullah says that the shade of a believer will be his charity on Yawm al-Qiyamah, when the sun is extremely close to you. This sun is beaming in my eyes right now. If it was any bit closer, wallahi, we'd be in discomfort. When you go outside in the summer, look how far away the sun is, but yet we're still drenched in sweat. Now imagine a day where individuals will be punished and rewarded for what they did in this dunya, when the sun will be so close to you, when you'll be drowning in your own sweat. Imagine having the shade of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala because you gave in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah's not saying give away your entire life savings like the companions did. Allah's saying give here, give there, give these small amounts. Wallahi, for someone that's not even working a proper job, what is $1? But yet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, do you think the deity that rewards you for moving something out of the way of a believer, so that way it's easy for them, the deity that rewards you for smiling at your brother, do you think He will allow this to go unaccounted for? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, الَّذِينَ يُنْفِقُونَ أَمْوَالَهُمْ في سبيل الله الذين ينفقون أموالهم في سبيل الله فلهم أجرهم عند ربهم ولا خوف عليهم ولا هم يحزنون. Those that spend in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in the way of their Lord, day and night, publicly and privately, they will be rewarded by their Lord. There will be no grieving for them. No grieving for them. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will reward them. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, فَاذْكُرُونِ يَذْكُرْكُمْ. Remember me and I will remember you. When you remember, I have to give for the sake of Allah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give for your sake. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam tells us that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that if you spend in the way of Allah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will spend in your cause. Now think about it. That car that we want, that job that we want, that house that we want, those clothes that we want, whatever it is that we want, that job that we want. Do you think Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not able to get you that job? Do you think that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not able to get you that which you want? Do you think that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not able to put everything together for you? Wallahi, when you worry and when you prioritize Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when you give for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you will have blessings. You will have things that you cannot even imagine. I have seen with my own 2 eyes examples of people. If you saw the numerical figure of what they make in a year, you will be surprised how they're living, how they're eating, how they're doing all these things. And I know from a personal example of someone that I know, very close to them, their family was on a very tight budget. Just an example. And their mom would give, and no one knew, their mother will give donations and charity to those that are in need. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant her Jannah. She passed away in COVID. But people were coming to their house flocking. Your mom helped me with this case. Your mother helped me with this charity case. Your mother helped me with this one. I didn't have food on my table. The whole entire family did not even know when it was coming out of their own house. And that friend of mine would tell me, you'll be able to get these things. We'll be able to get these things. We'll be able to do this. We'll be able to do that. And I'd be surprised where any of this is coming from. This is what happens when you prioritize giving for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is the blessing that comes with it. So anyone that's feeling as though they're on a bit of a tight budget, anyone that feels as though things are not lining up, anyone that feels as though, you know what, there's no barakah in my money, wallahi, give for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam tells us that charity does not deplete wealth. When you give for the sake of Allah, as much as you may think that you are numerically taking out something and the figure drops, wallahi, that figure goes up by times 10. That figure goes up by more than you can ever imagine because there is barakah in it. Now this applies to all aspects. Whatever you do for the sake of Allah, there will be barakah in it. But since we are talking about charity, a lot of us are hesitant. And of course, I understand. You work hard to allow that money to come into your house to feed your family. But understand that if you want to increase the barakah that is in there, give for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is not me saying it. This is Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam telling us this. This is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saying, if you spend in my cause, I will spend in your cause. What better than our creator and our deity to spend in our cause? We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to allow us to spend in His way. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to allow us to be generous, to be selfless in His cause. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, those that are in need, Ya Allah, please, you are no better. There is no ally that is better than you. Ya Allah, please be an ally to those that need help. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant us Jannah for those. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم. Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah, ma ba'd. The ayah before I continue, الذين ينفقون أموالهم بالليل والنهار سرا وعلانية فلهم أجرهم عند ربهم ولا خوف عليهم ولا هم يحزنون. Those that spend in the way of their Lord day and night, privately and publicly. Now this isn't saying publicly as they are boasting about it, more so that they are giving, and of course in public when you're going out of the masjid, for example, you cannot wait till everyone leaves, the masjid closes, it's 12 p.m. and then you put something in the box. You have to sometimes do things publicly. Now, of course, if your intention is for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that's most important. But those that spend in the way of their Lord, privately, publicly, day and night, they will be rewarded by their Lord. فَلَهُمْ أَجْرُهُمْ عِنْدَ رَبِّهِمْ. And there will be no grieving for them. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made it extremely easy for us. And we are in a situation or in a circumstance, in a scenario, we are more fortunate than others. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us the reward for those that are, when we give to those that are unfortunate. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us, give to these. And of course, this is speaking aside from zakat. This is focusing on voluntary charity. Because there is no debate about zakat. There's no arguing about, I want to do this, I don't want to do this. Of course, if you give more, amazing, but there is a bare minimum. And there is no arguing about it. When it comes to something that we have a choice about, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala rewards us even more. And even to mention that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam tells us that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves that which is small but continuous. For example, at a quick analogy, I love using this example. You can go to Umrah every few years. Amazing, one big action, But if you're not praying your prayers, that Umrah is, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept. You're negating or you're neglecting that which is obligatory for something that is voluntary. If you're doing your prayers, but your financial situation doesn't allow you to go to Umrah however many times you want, khalas, no problem. At least you're doing that which is obligatory. But once you have done that, and look at Salah for example, it takes 5 minutes, 10 minutes for us to pray. 5 prayers, 50 minutes, less than an hour a day. But it's 5 times a day. It's continuous. It's all the time. This is one of the best actions in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So now the analogy can transfer, of course, over to voluntary charity. Now, we're not saying donate $1 million or give to this, or to this masjid in specific or to that. No. Give in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, even be it small. Every single day, put aside $1. What does $1 do to you? Nothing. There's 365 days in a year. Some people make $365 in a day, if not even more. $1 a day. Put it aside for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I'm from New York City. There's a lot of unfortunate, homeless people in the subways. Give something to this one. Give something to that individual. You see someone in need of help, give to that person. And of course, we're going to talk later on about whatever's going on the other side of the world. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy for them. And I'm going to be transparent. This is the reason why I'm talking about it. But give wherever you can for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I know this example of an individual. A sheikh came to our masjid local in Brooklyn. Told us the example of a taxi driver. Now, the reason why he gave the example of that taxi driver is because it was a first-hand experience that he knew himself. And also because typically speaking, they do not make as much as other individuals may have, business owners, whatever the case is. That individual, he wanted to give for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and he wanted to give a very big amount. Not saying to give a big amount, example. He gave that extremely big amount for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, even though numerically to him, it would have been a very big hit. He would have had to tighten his pockets for a little while, but he wanted to give in the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He told that shaykh what he would make in 2 weeks, in a month he made in 1 week. What he would make in a month he made in 1 week. For the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He gave for the sake of Allah, he spent in Allah's cause, Allah spent in his cause. He gave for the sake of Allah, Allah gave for him. So do you think that when we do something for our Lord, that when we do something, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has told us, these individuals have a right upon you, that you give them clothing, that you give in their way, that you help them out while you have all these resources, do you not think that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to reward you endlessly, immensely? Do you not think that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not see what you are doing? That you are on a tight budget, that you don't make that much a year, whatever the case is, you have a family to feed, you have a mortgage to pay, whatever the case is, but yet you're still giving in the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Do you not think Allah is going to reward you? So we have to be selfless. We have to be generous. We have to be generous because although it may seem as though it is beneficial for someone else, the one receiving it, you have to realize that it's beneficial for you. You have to realize that it's going to come back to you. You have to realize that your Lord is going to reward you. But if you do not pay attention to any of this, if we keep keep all of this, our blessings to ourselves, then on Yawm al-Qiyamah, we're not able to get that shade. We're not able to get the blessing of Allah spending for us. We're not able to get all these endless blessings that come with it. When you negate something, you negate its blessings as well. But when you take upon that action or that responsibility, you get the blessings that come with it. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not let anything go unrewarded in this dunya and in the akhirah. The choice is yours. Be generous for the sake of Allah. And this isn't a plea for this masajid, for that masajid, for this or that. I'm simply saying, give for the sake of Allah. Be it buying someone a loaf of bread in the supermarket, be it giving to a homeless person, be it spending on your family. Even for that, a lot of us, we make subhanAllah 6-7 figures, but our families don't even know of it. Every single thing that you give for the sake of your family is a reward for you as well. Do not think giving your kids something that will make them happy, that will allow them to have a closer bond to you, or incentivizing something that they did good. You don't think Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to reward that for you, for raising righteous kids, to Allah, establishing a bond with them, to have a closer relation with them, so that way you can raise them as righteous individuals? Wallahi, everything is connected. Wallahi, everything comes together. Think about the bigger picture. You want the blessings that come with it, you have to do the action. And wallahi, I guarantee, and I'm saying this with utmost sincerity as a reminder to myself before anyone, when you trust Allah, Allah will pull miracles for you. So if you want miracles to be pulled for you, trust Allah and just do it. Don't think about it twice, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will reward you endlessly and immensely. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to allow us to obtain the blessings that come with this. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make it easy for those that are in an unfortunate circumstance. Let's grab this quickly. So the reason why I talked about this, like I mentioned earlier, is that we know, unfortunately, there was a very, very severe earthquake that took place in Turkey and in Syria. First of all, we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to protect us from any calamity. That reminds me as well that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, do not give with delay, for charity stands in the way of calamity. If you want to protect you and your family from any sort of calamity, be it an unfortunate circumstance where your finances dip, be it sickness, be it whatever it is, any sort of calamity, if you want your family to be protected, give charity. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says that charity stands in the way of calamity. Easy. Wallah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made it extremely easy for us. So it protects you from calamity as well. But the reason why I'm specifically stating this is because we know that there was a severe, severe earthquake that took place in Turkey and Syria. And if you look outside, you can see that there is a table that allows, if you go to that table, you're able to donate, that will allow the funds to go to this place. Al-Mustafa Islamic Center is partnering with Syrian American Medical Society, SAMS, to bring relief and medical supplies to the earthquake for the people of northern Syria with dire situation on the ground. A fundraising function will be conducted tomorrow after Salat Jummah, which is today. SAMS will use funds collected to help people most suffering from the disaster. We are hoping that our community will be able to help and in this humanitarian initiative. And remember that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is watching, and He will help who helps others when He needs help the most on Yawm al-Qiyamah. So again, quickly, I'm not going to nag you guys. Whatever that you can give, Doesn't have to be a big amount, small amount. That you know that's between you and your Rabb. Whatever you can give. Think about it. If your family was in this situation, where you are in an unfortunate circumstance, you would want as much aid that can come to you. Of course, everything is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Credit to Him first and foremost. But we have to do our part in allowing this. Number one. Number two. This is one of the best ways, and I gave this talk not too long ago, here and in another masajid as well, that unity is most needed. When it's times like this, we have to come together. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said that the ummah is like a body. That when one part of the body hurts, the entire body will be in pain. When you have one injury or one sickness, the entire body just shuts down. That's how we have to be as an ummah. So our brothers on the other part of the world and our brothers and sisters on the other part of the world are in help. They are in dire need of help. And alhamdulillah, we have the ability to do something to help them. And I just gave this whole talk about charity as well. Do whatever you can. I'm not saying a specific amount. Whatever you can give it for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So that way, you give those 5, 10, whatever dollars it is. You give it for the sake of Allah, you'll forget about it. But when you come forth on Yawm al-Qiyamah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say, you gave it my way. Here's the shade for you on Yawm al-Qiyamah. So do whatever you can give. The paper's outside. So there are people available at the table. So please, again, and I keep requesting this because it's extremely important. Whatever you can give, wherever you can give. Doesn't have to be here. Say in this specific because I'm here right now. Here, wherever you can give. Clothes drives. If you have clothes at home that you can give to these individuals, pack them up, bring them somewhere wherever there's a clothes drive, a food drive, whatever you can do for these individuals, do it and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward you. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make it easy for these individuals. Ya Allah, please aid them in this situation. Ya Allah, please make it easy for them. Ya Allah, please protect their families, our families. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to protect our families from any calamity. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as quickly as this situation occurred, Ya Allah, please grant them ease and a solution to this situation as quickly as it came. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to unite us the way we are united here right now, to grant us and unite us in Jannat al-Firdaus. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. أقم الصلاة.
الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمد رسول الله. حي على الصلاة. حي على الفلاح. قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة. الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
استقيموا واستغفروا الله سبحانه وتعالى. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. ولا تحسبن الله غافلا عما يعمل الظالمون إنما يؤخرهم ليوم تشخص فيه الأبصار مهطعين مقنعي رؤوسهم لا يرتد إليهم طرفهم وأفئدتهم هواء وأنذر الناس يوم يأتيهم العذاب فيقول الذين ظلموا ربنا أخرنا إلى أجل قريب نجب دعوتك ونتبع الرسل أولم تكونوا
أقسمتم من قبل ما لكم من زوال وسكنتم في مساكن الذين ظلموا أنفسهم وتبين لكم كيف فعلنا بهم وضربنا لكم الأمثال وقد مكروا مكرهم وعند الله مكرهم وإن كان مكرهم لتزول منه الجبال. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. فلا تحسبن الله مخلف وعده رسله إن الله عزيز ذو انتقام يوم تبدل الأرض غير الأرض والسماوات وبرزوا لله الواحد القهار وترى المجرمين يومئذ مقرنين في الأصفاد سرابيلهم من قطران وتغشى وجوههم النار ليجزي الله كل نفس ما كسبت إن الله سريع الحساب. هذا بلاغ للناس ولينذروا به وليعلموا أنما هو إله واحد وليذكر أولو الألباب. الله سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So just again a quick reminder, inshallah, the table is outside. There's some individuals there that will be able to assist you with however they will, work it out. So again, inshallah, just a reminder, whatever you can do, whatever you can give for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the table's outside, whatever you can give, please do. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward everyone for their efforts, for whatever they give, and for their intention as well. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to allow us to give even more in His cause. So again, a reminder, literally right when you go outside, to your left will be the table, and they'll be there to assist you. Jazakumullah khair.